right, welcome back to CITAM Church Online talk show, and we are so glad that you made time to be here with us. My name is Karwirwa Laura, and of course, I'm here with Miss Kerry Kagiri
Jumbo.
and Brother Kim.
Brother Kim.
All right, and now we just want to talk about something touchy. It affects all of us,
Yes.
but we all feel differently about it. It sparks hostility.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sparks cohesion.
Yeah.
In that, if I meet you, Kerry, and you and I agree, you have
Yes,
the same
yes,
opinion,
yes.
then
Tuna
we're
flow.
now kindred.
Yeah.
And in Kenya, it's not even really on the religious lines. I mean, a Hindu and a Christian can have the same opinion. It's more about tribalism, and it's been there for a while, and also classism. And this is all about politics and the political atmosphere. Considering 2022 is drawing nearby,
Yeah.
I really always feel like we start so early, just building up the tension in this country.
The drums are rolling.
You know, I just feel like we start so early. It feels so. And TZ is also having the elections. Recently just had. I want to see how that will go, and then the states as well. And you know, that's quite tense there on that end.
Yeah, it is.
So when it comes to these things, because governance is something that's has to be there.
Yes.
Governance has to be there.
Yes.
It's even a godly thing.
Yes, it's godly.
But
established.
as we are going about it, we are actually putting fellow human beings in place. And the interesting thing about this thing is that we have to be all inclusive. You can't be picky across certain lines. So how do we go about it, regardless of all those differences?
Yes.
And another question I'd like to ask you is, what do you think are the important factors to consider? Because, you know, on one end, we keep telling each other, hey, we shouldn't be on these tribal lines. You don't pick a leader based on where they come from.
Yeah.
But then what factors should I consider? If you don't tell me a better thing around it,
Okay.
then what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sister Kerry.
I think I'd start with my #1 campaign in life, which is for everybody to be present and active in the political scene of their area. Matters knowing what's actually needed. I'll give an example, because you've talked about not knowing what to pick according to what lines. Now, does this person actually have the same values that your particular area, let's even start with the MCA, has? Because these people have opportunity to speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Who are they? What's their record? You have to hold them accountable. And even if you haven't held them accountable previously, and now they're coming back again, I mean, you need to look and say, okay, did he do this? He said he'll do this. All these recordings are there. You can even Google MCA this area, what did they say? Or MP this area, what did they say they were going to do? What is their, what's this thing they share
Manifesto.
with us? Manifesto.
Yeah.
Are these things that are in line with what you actually need? Because most of us are so detached from what's happening in our areas. Number 2, we're so detached from politics. As a believer, you need to be in a political party. As a believer, you need to engage. When people are called in a jukwaa, in a forum, you need to be there, involved, listening. You can't say, you know, me, sina interest. You know what I'm saying? That's so hopeless. And that's not the kind of God we have. Our God is so good, He's so faithful. And so you have to engage. And I'm not saying you don't have to become a politician, but you're engaged in the policy making in your area, because these are things that affect you. And so for me, I start with #1, being so present. I actually, if I see someone coming there to talk to us, I'll hear what they have to say. And most of the time, you end up rubbishing it, because you're like, you've been here, what have you done for me? You know? I'd say I'm a Langata constituent, and that's where I vote, and that's where I was raised up. And so there are so many leaders who get to national positions, and I won't speak on particular ones, but for me, they've never spoken into the real issues that I have.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why when you're speaking, at some point I wonder, does Kerry live in Kenya? Because the level of ignorance and the level of people who don't care, like at times you're told public participation happened. My friend, where? In someone's bedroom.
I actually think that, to be honest,
You know,
I actually think that it's sometimes, you know, Kenya is made up of largely youth.
Yes.
And youth here means that, I mean, ideally, this person is very young.
Young.
Right?
And can we candidly say most of them are times jobless?
Yes.
Or someone who is hustling and trying to find
That is another
this and
element
this.
you
Yes,
brought in.
yes.
But I want to bring this element because there's a 20-year-old or someone who's just turned 18 and is going to vote in 2022.
2022.
They have never read the Constitution.
Yeah.
And this is my call to action to you. Read it. By
Read
the way,
it. Yeah, let's fight
you've been through,
ignorance.
because you've been through school, you can
Yeah,
read.
yeah.
Imagine you'll
So
understand
much.
it. It's not jargon. What I wanted to say with that is we studied social studies,
Yes.
and those who do history in school, some of
Yes.
us didn't.
Yeah.
And that's the least we know about our country. And then you come into the realities
three
of
arms
the
of
day-to-day.
government.
Which is a-
You
I
know, you
I
come into
know.
the reality of
Yeah.
now I need to cast a vote.
Yes.
And I remember the first time I was voting,
Yes.
I was really a bit lost out,
Yeah.
kidogo. And largely I had to rely on my parents' counsel.
Okay.
But in as much as, yes, I think, it would be good also for parents to guide their children into coming into that place of taking their place. I'd also say take it upon yourself because you also need to make a decision for
But you
yourself.
also have to think about your children.
Yes.
When you're making these votes. Because sometimes
Yes.
you're like, our parents have already lived their life.
You know,
I'm sorry
that's what
to
I'm
say this,
saying.
I'm not wishing you.
That's what I'm saying. This is not a dad decision.
It's not.
Let him assist you to understand it, but let him not make you
And actually-
vote a certain way because that's what he thinks is right.
Yeah.
Thank God
So,
the ballot is secret.
in short,
Hata
I'm
if
saying-
someone is telling you, vote for this person, just listen to them. Oh, why? Listen. But when you go to council, vote a private vote.
Yes, it
You vote
is.
for the person who you believe is going to make change and is going to do something different. People have opinions. Don't always be arguing. Me, I love to hear. But if someone tells me about a candidate that I know for real, I'm not voting, I love to listen. And I listen. I'm like, oh, they did? That's quite interesting. I didn't know that about them. Okay. What's the back up your information? Give me receipts, eh? Give me receipts. They actually worked on that project. Great. I mean, that was a success and it's still, going. But when I go there, it's a secret ballot. And I thank
Yeah.
God.
That's good, and that's why I was saying. That's why I was saying. At the end of the day, I think for me, I'm leading up to this thing of what influences your decision. It is your personal understanding of this constitution that is there available for each of us to read. And now BBI is here. Read it for yourself. It is personal at the end of the day. When you understand what your country is giving you. When you understand what the Constitution outlines, because at the end of the day, whichever leader you pick will have to serve under the boundaries of the Constitution. Constitution will never change. So understand what Constitution says. And then sasa, I mean, it will change. When it changes, it will change. But as in vile iko, no leader can just come and just cross those boundaries vile anataka. So once you understand what Kenya Constitution imesema, as we've all collectively agreed, this is our Constitution. And you, that is what makes sense to you. Then pick a leader that now will help you. Will help you and your peers who are walking around the estate jobless. Will help our economy, our healthcare system. Have you been to public hospitals? And just seen how mothers are on the floor laboring.
Why?
Why are
There
we
is
still there in
fire here.
2020? So at the end of the day, I really think that it is upon you to understand this thing for yourself first. That don't let this thing be influenced by person X's opinion. It is you, what you want for yourself. And I think also I'd pose a challenge to us to have a vision beyond ourselves, to have a vision for Kenya. Because mimi niko Thika, niko sawa. Lakini there's some guy deep in Bungoma and the issues is going through, I don't understand them. And that's why I'll be reckless with my decisions. So as we make decisions, we also need to think about each other. Yeah.
I'll quote my good bishop during the launch of the BBI. He said that the laws we make today will actually imprison us tomorrow. Some of the liberties we deny people today are some of the things they will fight for tomorrow. And so for me, my greatest call and whatever breaks my heart is this, that people, and especially we young people, can step out there and fight. In the name of intolerance, in the name of I was incited, in the name of I come from the wrong tribe or they come from this other tribe. All those issues, I wish somehow God can just open our eyes and realize, but these guys, like, look, let me use a Kenyan example. look at what happened in Bomas. The president says this, the former prime minister says this, the deputy president says this. There was a lot of heckling, and you could sense the mood. But when they were walking out, they walked out as brothers,
All of them.
hugging,
Laughing.
gotaing, laughing. And then you're left there breaking your TV, screaming, and concluding issues in your head. Actually, I want to say this. It is not politics that you need. It is Jesus you need.
Absolutely.
So that he gives you some peace of mind to know that government's leadership comes from God. And at times, God will allow us to go through very tough times. Think of someone like King Cyrus in Scripture, a wicked king, but was used by God to serve the purposes of God. So at times, we may not understand why God allows some of these leaders to exist. Because at times, you feel like you want to do a Samson moment under one roof, and you're like, can't we just shake up this building?
know?
You know, you feel like you want to even engage in hate speech
Yeah.
and do things. But at the end of the day, what would Jesus do in that situation? He would hold peace. Jesus
I
would
think at the end
actually
of the
reconcile
day,
people.
let's uphold
You
those
see?
things.
So for me, my prayer is
Yeah.
this. Let us uphold peace.
Yeah.
Please don't agree to be used by someone. An opinion of someone should not drive you to kill Kerry. I always tell my friends, I'm a Kikuyu, I'm proud, but I'm a Christian Kikuyu, not a Kikuyu Christian. My Christianity and my faith determines my response
Yes.
to whatever issue is brought up to me. So with that, Manze,
Yeah.
peace.
I want us to talk
Peace.
about something
Peace.
in the next video,
yes.
still related to this,
Yes.
because this conversation has been hot.
Nimeona-
Not heated,
wait,
but hot.
Actually, at some point I felt ni kama tulikuwa kwa ile show ya
Yeah.
Citizen.
I actually can't believe
You spoke.
how, yes,
Yeah.
because I've always been very silent about
Okay.
You
politics
can't.
stuff,
Yeah.
because
No, you can't. You have to be involved.
I think for me, I'm really looking forward to this season because I'm seeing the church coming together and having a stand, either
Yeah.
raising someone or backing someone who we actually know
yeah.
stands for the right things and the
Yeah.
true things and the prosperity of the nation of Kenya.
Nice.
And so I want to rally, because we're Christians first. The prosperity of Kenya is the prosperity of us all. And so let's come together and decide. Because when the church is together, I don't even know
Powerful.
what's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. And with that, we have to end it at this, but next week we continue still kind of in the same trajectory, talking about this. And we thank you for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe on this channel, and make sure you share this video kindly. And of course, engage with us on the comments. Please, as you do, again, remember, yes, it's a political conversation,
Yeah.
but it has to be very civil.
True.
Uphold peace.
Peace.
We are not here to
Hatupigani.
tell you what to
Wakenya
do.
pamoja.
We are here to encourage you
Yes.
to uphold the things that are right as you make your decision.
Amen.
Thank you for watching. God bless.
Awesome. Bye-bye.